Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals meeting for January 2023 is now in session. I would like to introduce my board. To my far left is Skip Sweeney and T.R. Hatch. I'm Ivan Vlentik. To my right is Davey Rowan and Todd Goling. To our far right is Heather Freeman, our zoning inspector. Under the voice of council, we ask that anyone speaking tonight must be sworn in. If you plan on speaking, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God. If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated. This evening, when presenting your case, come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and confirm that you've been sworn in. Heather, were the legal notices published?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, we have one appeal tonight, which is old business. 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny an appeal. If a request is denied, you can see Heather afterwards. All right, first is variance application 2022-117. Donald A. Rockwood is requesting a variance from section 15.03A7 to allow accessory building to be located in the side yard in lieu of behind the dwelling in the rear yard for the property located at 6868 Areas Way, current parcel number 10-A-031-D-00-011-0. Mr. Rockwood, please come up.
My name is Donald Rockwood. I have been sworn in. As you mentioned, I live at 6868 Aries Way, which is on the corner of Route 84 and Prouty. The first 3 or 4 houses, our backyard is Route 84, and so the first 4 houses there don't really have much of a backyard. I put a shed on the side of my house. Neighbor across the street and 2 doors down had one on the side of their house, but there's not a lot of room in the back of my yard. There's only 2 really places that it could go. I'd like to submit a couple extra pictures just for you can see kind of the. Do I show stuff up through these or?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. This is the right corner of my house, my lot. Gets a lot of flooding, and you got some additional pictures there probably. The left side of my house in the back there, you see a lot of woods, and I really didn't want to tear down, the big Christmas tree and the extra tree to put a shed there. So that's the reason why I filed for a variance to put the shed on the side of the house, if possible. I don't have a lot of room in the backyard. I provided one picture for everybody there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Thanks.
And the backyard, I remember that area. I drove by, but I didn't pull back. But it looks like there's some slope to the backyard.
It is, which is what you see in that picture, why you get such a water problem. And I've actually had worse than that. So that's the only one place that the shed could go. And then when you see to the left side, which is the reason why I built the house there, because the left side of my house is woods. And I just love the shade of them and all the woods there. But I would literally have to tear down my big Christmas tree that I planted 9 years ago, and an extra tree there to put it there. And I really didn't want to, tear down healthy trees.
And there's a mound along 84
There is, and there's a big hill, steep hill there. And you see a big Christmas tree in the back there. That literally is like a 3-foot difference compared to the step up to that woods. And that's the reason why I put it on the side of the house. So that's why I filed for a variance to hopefully get that approved.
When did you build this?
This got installed probably like in September when I had a roof leak that I didn't even know about. So I repaired the roof and all that. Insurance company denied all the claims, and so I put that in for some extra storage.
And the lot just adjacent to yours with all the trees,
Yes, sir. That's like a little small area of woods.
who owns that?
I own a portion of it, half of it, and then the association, Ari's Way, owns the rest of that. And I cleaned out a whole big section of that when I first moved in. I think I took out 150 bags, and all the trees that are branches laying down. It's all nice and cleaned out over there.
Have your neighbors voiced an opinion either way?
No, sir.
Your HOA, have they said anything? Or?
No, a couple of my neighbors said, if you got extra room, let me put some stuff in it. Because it's a nice little unit. I didn't go cheap on it. I wanted to match the house as much as possible. And, you know, if I have to put some siding on it to even match the house better, I'd be glad to do that. It's only gonna cost me like $800 more to do that. But that's the reason I put that area on the side of the house. One, it's close to the garage door, and I didn't have to tear, the slope wasn't that much of a difference when you come up to the closer to the house, and I didn't want to tear down any additional trees just to put a shed back there that I much needed.
You know, I drove by a while ago. This was it's been on our docket for a while, right?
Yes, sir.
So when I drove by, I thought I saw some arborvitaes in the front, in
There
between
is.
the road and the.
Yeah, those are mine.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes, sir. I own that's
So
just
there is
slightly
some
to the left
screening
of that. I own.
There's some screening from the road.
There is. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay.
Yes.
We don't have any. I don't know if you guys have driven by or not, but there is some screening from the road.
Yes, sir. There is. And I'd be glad to put, you know, additional trees there for extra, you know, screening or whatever it might be to please any eyes out there.
Is that? Can you verify that the screening, the arborvitaes that are there between the street and the shed?
You're asking me, Mr.
Yeah.
Mack?
I'm sorry.
I don't remember that they were arborvitaes, but the shed is kind of tucked behind
It's
some
tucked in
trees.
back
Yeah,
in there,
yes,
okay.
it's definitely
Alright.
screened
Yeah.
somewhat by some vegetation. I don't
Yeah.
recall specifically what
I don't remember
the trees
what they
were.
were.
There's like 5 12-foot arborvitaes there.
I know my plan. No, I just wanted to make sure. I thought I saw something.
So, I think this was sort of asked already, but in the association, is there a process to get approval for having an accessory building?
There is, and I went through that process. Wasn't really, I was kind of dumbfounded about the permit. I haven't done anything like that before. But I went through the process, everything got approved. The association really wasn't aware of the new change of not allowing on the side of the property. Because like I said, my across the street neighbor and my neighbor 2 doors down, they have it on the side of their house already. And not really hidden besides a fence, but that's the reason why I put it there, and everything got approved. And then Heather had been in the neighborhood and she saw it, and then she sent out the letter.
So approved by the association, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Not approved by zoning.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because they weren't aware of the no more on the side properties anymore.
So I guess when did that? I guess Heather, this is a question for you. Did that change since? I guess what's the process for the association? I mean, should they have been aware? The homeowners association. I don't know if there's a process where.
Those HOAs follow the regulations of the county, but they're allowed to build on top of theirs for more additional, like require paint colors or mailbox types or something.
Right. I just was trying to understand, like, from a homeowners association, I guess it would be in their interest to make sure if they approve it, like,
Yeah.
does it meet zoning?
Right.
I don't know if there's any kind of process that they follow to stay up to date, and again, I don't know if this is something that changed since he purchased his house, that, at some point they were allowed sidewalks.
Heather said it did change, and then, which is when I got the letter, I, immediately came up and saw her, I had mentioned, well, the association, should be well known of this too, because if they would have denied it, I obviously wouldn't have put it there.
Right.
But once they approved it, I had put it in and didn't know
Assumption
any
is
difference.
the
Correct.
housing association approved
Yes,
it.
sir.
15.
But the HOAs were looking at more from an aesthetic standpoint, not necessarily.
The other people have it there already on the side of their home already.
Mr. Rowan, I believe the resolution was changed in 2019.
Okay.
So
So
the
it's
development
been-
was already in, so
Gotcha.
the association might have not been aware of the zoning,
Okay.
the zoning change. Some associations, approve a project contingent on getting zoning approval.
Gotcha.
Other associations say, go get zoning approval, then come get our approval. So I'm not sure
Okay.
exactly how their association does it.
Thank you.
But any improvements need to come in, fence, shed, pool, they all gotta come in and get a
Yeah,
zoning.
that was my fault. I take complete ownership of that.
This lot that's next to you,
Yes, sir.
it's not, that's not even a buildable lot, is it?
No, sir, it's not, it never will be.
What do you mean, you own half of it?
I do own half of that. That's why you see a lot of it cleaned out, and then the other half is not. The other half is part of the association, or they call it community property, or the
Common area?
common area. Yes, sir. Thank you. And then the other half is mine. My property goes right down there.
And then you said there's others in this development that have sheds on the side of their house?
My across street neighbor, and then 2 or 3 doors down, they have it on the side of theirs. That's the ones that I saw so far.
Okay. And no one's giving you any grief?
No.
Okay.
Like I said, I matched the house the best I could with the paint and the roof. It's got actually the same roof on it that I just
It looks
had
nice.
installed. Thank you, I appreciate that. And if I have to, put a Christmas tree or two in front of it, or put some siding on it, I mean, I'll be glad to do that.
Kind of tucked back there.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I have no further questions.
No? All right, thank you. You can be seated.
Board, thank you for your time, I appreciate it.
Is there anyone else here speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? No. Okay, if there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2022-117 is now closed to the public. Can I get a motion to approve variance 2022-117?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
It's against that non-buildable lot. I mean, nothing's ever gonna go there. There is a forest separating him and I think it's what, condos? Like, they're just right next to it. So, I mean, it's nestled in there. It's not posing a huge issue as long as we don't have anyone here to object. I don't see a monster issue with it.
Agreed.
I agree.
If it were jammed up next to, like, right up next to a neighbor, then potentially it could be. I mean, it's not permanent. It's a semi-permanent shed, so it can be picked up and moved, which isn't a huge issue. But there's no one to object.
I think
I think it actually looks pretty good. I'll be honest.
I think I would add that
does.
if we were to say, okay, it has to go in the back, to move the shed and to mitigate the drainage issues would be a bigger burden than just approving it where it is, and that it is on the side, and everything you said, it's tucked in. So,
Do we have any concerns about siding or maintenance of those arborvitaes?
no.
No, I mean, it doesn't have to match. That's not the
No, I
variance,
just,
so.
if we want to have, say.
I think it looked
now's the
pretty,
time.
put it that way, but other than that, it's as long as the HOA isn't requiring him to have siding to match, I mean, there's nothing we can do
Okay.
as far as siding goes. But that's an HOA issue, I think.
Okay, cool. Everyone's good? Yep. All right, Heather, the question then is on approval of variance number 2022-117. Yes vote approves the variance and no vote denies the variance. Please call the vote.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes?
Mr. Hack?
Yes.
Mr. Rowan?
Yes.
Mr. Goling?
Yes.
Mr. Valente?
Yes, your variance has been approved.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate your time, boy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year, Thank you.
Next on the agenda is approval of minutes from December 14th. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from December 14th, 2022?
So moved.
Second.
Second. So moved. Second.
I don't know who got what. So all right. Is there any discussion regarding the minutes, additions or deletions? Okay. All right. A yes vote approves the minutes, and no vote does not. All in favor of the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
All right. The minutes are approved from December
Those opposed?
14th. Are you opposed? Are you abstaining?
No. Aye. Aye.
Aye. All right.
I'm an aye.
The minutes are approved as written.
I wasn't here.
Oh, wait a minute, I have to abstain. I was not here.
Yeah, you were not here.
Stand corrected.
Okay. As noted. Our next meeting is on February 8th, 2023. The Concord Township Board, Zoning Board Appeals is now closed. Thank you.